Hey guys, what is up? Nicholas here from Vulcan Studios, also known as Amity. Coming here today to give you guys a tutorial as I said I would. So I decided to give you guys a little tutorial on how to make ballistic knives. It's the ones I use for one of my projects, kind of V-Ray version of ballistic knives in Cinema 4D. I will not be doing V-Ray for this render. Maybe a whole separate tutorial altogether, but you'll be able to learn how to make these ballistic knives I've modeled. And maybe we'll do something kind of different because this is all coming from the top of my head. Okay, so there's a few different ways that you can model something. You can either go out, some people in this, for example, the Call of Duty community do, they like to use boxes a lot and they adjust from that. But for me, I prefer to use the top port, the top, the right, those kinds of ports to use splines. And a lot of people don't really use splines at all, and it's a little frustrating because I don't really understand why. They kind of find them annoying, I guess, but it's really the easiest way to model something in most instances. I'm not saying all, but a lot of instances it is easiest to do with splines and things like that. So you can get a picture of ballistic knives from like the top, and you can do it in a blueprint way. And you can find that in other videos around on YouTube. But I'm going to show you my way, which is just off the top of my head. I mean, of course, I may have references with me here and there, but overall, I like to do it completely on my own head. Well, through my own head, whatever you want to say. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to enable snapping. So snapping's right over here, and this allows you to snap to a bunch of different things like edges, polygons, but we're going to do a work plane snap, and then we're going to go back in and do a grid point snap. So this is going to be the easiest way to do it because it's extremely frustrating if you want smooth, straight edges and you don't want things to go up a little bit or down when you're putting the vertices in. So we're going to start off by modeling the handle, and I think I'm going to do something a little bit different than the one that I did before. So instead of this handle that we have, I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. So you can start by clicking, obviously, on the different vertices, different grid, and make the shape for your handle that you want. It's going to be really up to you on this instance, so I'm obviously not going to try to tell you too much. So, for example, this is the shape I'm going to create, and I really want to leave the creativity up to you. And remember that if you do close it, you can right click, go to create point, and then you can add a few points on here just in case you forgot to do a few things, and I think that's incredibly useful. So oops. So I'm gonna bring these up. Ooh, apparently there's an extra point that I made. Okay, so then I'm gonna add another point right in here. And move this point down. So now we have this kind of little, it looks okay. It doesn't look too great, but hey, it will be fixed. And I do have to save this because I have this ridiculous system where it always freezes on me stupidly, so I'm just going to name this tutorial, my downloads folder. So here's the shape that we have going on right now. And what I'm going to do is, I kind of like how this is, but you got to remember that you got to be able to hold it with 4 fingers. So I'm going to move this up to about here and move that to about there. Oops, and we're just going to delete that point because I don't need that point. So now we have that. It's really simple. It's incredibly easy to make, and I don't care, I like it. It looks nice. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, I'm going to get another spline. So I'm going to use linear once again, and then I'm going to just go from here here, then up, back over here, and then close the spline. And what this spline right here, I don't really need it to be too crazy. It's just going to serve for the grip. Alright, so I'm actually going to bring that up just a little bit so that it's not completely touching on the outside. So this is going to be the kind of leather grip we're going to have right in there. So, and then maybe we'll do something cool to make it stand out. So we got the plastic grip, we got the rubber grip. Alright, so let's get out of here. Let's go right back into perspective mode. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go right into here where it has your subdivisions and extrudes and all that. And we're going to open up the extrude, and then you can put the spline right under it. Alright. One thing I'm going to tell you right now is the easiest way to put it under, especially if you have tons of them and you have to keep putting it under, like when you import an AI file, you can just hold the spline, hold down Alt, and just hit extrude, and it goes right under. And that's a really easy way to do things. So the movements are actually off right now, so it's 20 in the Z-axis, and you don't want that. So we're going to do about, oops, whoa, way too much. We're going to do about 20 centimeters right there. Yeah, it looks about, yeah, it looks about fine. But what we're going to actually do is I'm going to get that out of here. Okay, so what I didn't really expect is that this is actually just not working out for me right here, how it is. So I'm actually going to alter the spline a little bit. Hold down those and just kind of bring those up 10 centimeters. And then if we start this out again, yeah, see, that's better. That's better. It shows more of a divot, and it just looks a lot better. So now we're going to add this one back in. And this one is actually the grip that we're making here. We're going to make it a little bit smaller because we do want it to be inward a little bit so that your fingers just kind of latch onto it. And then you're going to bring it up about halfway. So that's about halfway. If you want it exact, I suggest going again into your preference modes and just altering it from here. For me, this is a tutorial, a nice little demonstration, so there's really no need for it. Alright, so what I'm going to do for this though is say if I do have it in my hand and I want to shoot, then okay, so well, what I'm trying to figure out right now is where am I going to put the button, because every single ballistic knives, obviously it's a gun, so you have to have a button. The button I put is right here. So I'm thinking about something maybe a little bit different in this situation, something a little bit kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and so you can either hit C on your keyboard or hit right up here so that this happens and it becomes editable. And then I don't like how it separates into caps and then your extrude, so I'm just going to group them all and then click connect objects and delete after right clicking, and now it's just one entire polygonal mesh. So, and then from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually import a cube. I'm going to change it to probably about 15, 15, 15 just to get it smaller, and then just going to up it. So there's this really cool tool called the Bully, and what it does is, say we take it, where is it? Here it is. So it's where your atom arrays and connects and symmetries and all those are. So you're going to take the Bully out, and then we're going to take the cube and put it right there. So what it does is it takes object number 2 and subtracts it from object number 1. So, and then you can switch that, and you can union, subtract, intersect, or such like that. And it makes it really, really good. So that everything does it, and it's extremely clean overall. And that's the best part. You can really make sure it's clean. The only thing that I do not like is, say, when we go into quick shading and do lines, is that it does have to create a lot of symmetry in here, and that just kind of annoys me when I look at that, because then if something messes up, you got to go and fix all the symmetry. I mean, topology. So, yeah. So right here is where I think I'm going to put the button, so that you would have your bottom 3 fingers on here and then your index finger right on the button there. So what I would do is I'd take the cube we originally put in there, duplicate it, and then we're just going to scale it down a little bit and then scale it up a little bit as well, just so it has a nice comfy fit. And then we're just going to stick it right in there. That's what she said. And then I'm going to make it a little bigger. Again, that's what she said. And that's about it. So that looks nice how it is right there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make that editable as well. And I'm going to make sure you keep these named. Generally, it's going to be the easiest way to do it. What is this called? The hilt. And then lastly, this is the grip. Just make sure so when you go back to edit things, you're not going to have to go through all of them to figure it out, especially when you have literally dozens of layers. So, okay, so the trigger we have right here, I'm going to go into polygon mode in case you didn't notice. Points, edges, and polygons. So we have polygons right here. And if you right click, you have a bunch of different options. They're all going down the screen right here. And although sometimes it's not as helpful as things are in Autodesk, it is pretty even overall. So we're going to go into bevel, and then, oh wow, normally it's a lot easier to do. Oh, you know why? We have snapping on. When you have snapping on, it gets pretty obnoxious, like that. Oh god. Alright, so from there I'm just going to you know what? See what we did here. Now it looks like it's coming out of the freaking wall, and then we're not going to be able to put it in or out. So I'm going to back up here. So, and just to quickly oh god, I really do have to back up quite a bit now. Alright, so anyway, here you guys. Yes, I do make mistakes occasionally. So here we go. Right on the edges, and that looks fine. We're going to rename this once again, trigger. So don't rename it. You could just actually copy the cube. I stupidly did that. So hilt and grip. Alright, so we're going to quickly go right back into this, and then here we go. So now we're right there. So there's our button. So it has a nice bevel on it, so it doesn't look like it's just a freaking square, an ugly old square. So there's our button. It looks pretty fine right there. Of course, you can make it more sophisticated by doing, for example, let's go from the right side. You can go and enter a spline and go Bezier, and make it one a little bit more fancy. You know, have some buttons kind of have curves on them or whatever, and that's really up to you. Whatever floats your boat, but I'm just going to make it really simple just for demonstration purposes. Alright, so here we go with this, and so far it's looking pretty good overall. Of course, there's still quite a bit to go. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is, where is my picture? Alright, so you see these things right here. I kind of put them in there just for, what's the word? I don't know. What is the word? Shit. Yeah, to make it look good. Alright, so cosmetic, that's the word I was looking for. So I pretty much just put it in there for cosmetic purposes, and that really works for me. Makes it really nice. So what we're going to do again, obviously, is put it in for cosmetic purposes. So now we're going to go right back into linear, and it's going to be very nice. And then, to be honest, I am not going to be really focused on making sure it's all completely even. Again, demonstration purposes, so I'm gonna try to get it as even as I can, and that's gonna be about it. So, because overall eyeballing it for me is not terrible. So, as I completely screw up the eyeball reference. Alright, so that looks pretty nice right there. Okay, cool. Alright, so there we go right there, and that's looking mighty fine in my opinion. Alright, so now we have a pretty good area right there, and then I have two more things I'm gonna do with this. So now we're gonna get another spline going, and then we're just going to pretty much copy the same little thing right here so that it goes well into that. Alright, so there's section number 2, and then obviously we have our last one, so we're just going to hop back into splines, and we're just going to quickly do this. Well, I'm going to quickly do it. I hope you spend a little bit more time than I did. So I'm gonna not bring it all the way down here, just to kind of make it look a little bit different, because some things are just not really necessary, but really depends on your build and how your hilt looks. So now we have the 3 different cosmetic looks on the back, and we're gonna put them all in extrude NURBS. Alright, so I got them all in extrude NURBS. I'm gonna bring them up, and of course they have the wrong z-axis. It should be 0, and we're gonna boost it up to about, not 15, 5 centimeters. Yeah, that looks fine. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it to maybe 3 centimeters, and there we go. So it looks kind of nice. Yeah, looks fine to me. So, yep. So what I'm gonna do now, just to make it easier on myself, is I'm gonna make all of them editable, open them all up, and then I'm going to highlight them all, and then right click connect objects and delete. And I'm just gonna name this cosmetics. Alright, so then I'm gonna hop into polygon mode, and the thing is, it's way too blocky for me, and I'm just gonna level them up, and then I'm gonna give them a few subdivisions, only because it's just too blocky for me. So and then now it's up to you how you want to do it. This really comes down to your preference styles, but for me, I'm going to inner extrude, and then I'm going to extrude downward. Alright, so, and then just to reserve the space I have right here, I'm going to put a random texture in there, just a white texture, just to keep it in there. Alright, so now a lot of you would be wondering, how are we going to get those on the other side? Because if we flip them, then, well, if you flip them, it just doesn't work. It's the exact opposite. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold Alt down, and we're going to go right into where we got the boolean tool and click symmetry. So obviously didn't do it the right way. So what we're going to do is go on symmetry, and then where it says mirror plane, we're going to do the XZ axis. And then what we do is, okay, actually first you got to center it, which didn't really do that. So when you do symmetry, the annoying thing is when you want them to go closer or farther apart, you make sure that you click on the cosmetic, or, well, the layer under the symmetry. You don't want to click the actual symmetry layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them at right next to each other, so that they're pretty much on top of each other, and that's going to be the easiest way for me to perfectly center it. So I'm going to go into our view mode, and just bring it to about the center, and then we can just split them apart. Now the thing is, I do not want them too far away from each other, and because I don't want this straight part right in here to be too far out. I want it to look like it's really rounded nicely. So right there is about good. Let's just make sure the bottom is about the same. Yep, and see, so it's not. So I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. Okay, so now it's about the same in annoyingness. And I'm sure there's an easier way to make it more precise, but I don't really care at this point to make it completely precise. So it actually looks pretty nice right there. Alright, so the next step, we're actually going to round off this, and some people would just put in a polygonal a subdivision, and that's what it happens. So you do not want to do that. Just because you subdivide something doesn't mean it's going to look pretty. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to make it editable. As usual, I'm going to connect all the objects and delete them, so that way we have the whole thing looking good. And I'm going to hide the trigger, I'm going to hide the symmetry, and we're just going to focus on the grips right now. Alright, not the grip, rather the hilt. So for right now, I'm going to go into polygon mode. I'm going to wrap around all of these, the whole outside. And we're going to use the bevel tool, and we're going to bevel it outward. So now it looks much better, except right there. Like, what the hell is going on there, buddy? Come on, come on. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm just going to take these, all of these right here out. I don't want to use those bevels. We're going to keep that how it is, and we're going to bevel the rest. So we'll bevel that outward, and overall it looks pretty nice. So the next step, oh, and again, it actually happened here too. Actually, wait, it's not even beveling properly. That's not actually beveling at all. It should be offsetted. Huh. I don't actually know what's happening right now. Why is it doing this to me, huh? Why are you doing this? It's better. I'm going to take both of these off then and see how this goes. Okay, so it's actually doing this to me the whole time. I don't know why. It didn't do this to me last time. Oh, wow. Oops. Alright, so instead, I'm just going to round part of it then. So I'm going to round the bottom right there. And I'm going to round. See, that rounds properly. I think it was the edges that was doing that, just to annoy me. So we're going to round those right there. See if they all round. Yeah, see, that rounds. I don't know why. I think it just hates me. I'm pretty hateable, to be honest. So, yeah, see, that goes. Yeah, fuck you. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to do the same kind of bevel technique. There's other ways to do techniques, but as this is more of a beginner's tutorial to a kind of weapons model, we're just going to do the simple technique we've been doing, because it can get kind of cool how you do it. There's other ways to do these things. So now it's pretty much now like a double bevel. It's kind of like a bevel on top of a bevel, and that's just plain annoying. So we're going to inner extrude just a little bit, and all of it seems good. Sometimes your topology might actually kind of screw you, but we did actually pretty good. And I'm just going to extrude it outward just a little bit, and then we're going to bevel it once again. So now we have that, and it looks pretty good. Okay. The only problem now is that because of that double bevel, now when we put the symmetry on, yeah, so it's stuck somewhere in there. So obviously, hopefully you know by now, just bring it upward. Oh, actually, I think I did it a little bit too much. So you know what we could just do? Go backwards. It might not work in this case, so we're just going to do it like that. And sorry about that. I thought it would have turned out a little bit more in my favor. It did not. So here's our trigger. It's looking pretty good. And here is our grip. So now with the grip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to subdivide it. I don't want to subdivide it that way though. Flip. Okay, it's not going to give me good subdivisions. It's going to give me the annoying ones. So what I'm going to do, and actually this is going to help you in the long run as well, is that if you make it editable, and per usual, just connect objects and delete. We're going to go into our top view, and we're going to go to polygon mode. And we're going to select all the polygons, and then you're going to hit the letter K on your keyboard. Also the knife, you can also search it up by Shift C. Knife command, and then we're going to turn on visible only. We're going to turn that off rather, and I'm going to make one cut on every line here. Alright, and obviously I'm not going to make it completely precise, but you are welcome to, because if you're doing it properly, you should make it very precise. You do not want to, especially if you're doing it for somebody else, like as an order or something, you'd most likely want to make it as genuine as possible. So now I'm just going to actually move it a little bit right there. Yeah, that's about there. That's fine. Okay. So now I'm going to just bring it back up here. Okay, actually it seems like I kind of screwed up and made like a part of it. Yeah, so let me just fix that. Alright, so now we have, okay, that actually screwed me over. Alright, screw you, buddy. That's stupid. You're stupid. Do 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 do. Optimize. Oops. There we go. Alright, so sorry, I just had to fix that really fast. Alright, so now we have these different kind of hilts here. I mean, different subdivisions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these different subdivisions and make sure you don't hit the back one. We don't want the other side of this doing it. And we're just going to subdivide it again. And you can do that by hitting US. And that, see, I just have a weird little thing going on here. I think it's just hating on me right now. I'm actually getting kind of mad. So I'm just going to deal with it. You guys won't have it. I don't really feel like going back in to fix it. But now what we're going to do is we're just going to click all of these. Well, the easiest way to do it is to hit 9 on your keyboard. Alright. And then I personally am going to do inner extrude. So you hit that, and then right over here it says preserve groups. I'm not preserving them, and I'm going to just kind of make it a little smaller. And that actually looks kind of cool. And then I'm going to hit bevel, and we're just going to bring it up a little bit. and that's kind of giving it like a kind of grip, you know, so you can have a nice little grip going on there. And I have this one thing over there that's just kind of annoying me. It's being mean, and I just don't want to fix it. So, but now we have actually a pretty nice ballistic knife going on. I would say it's pretty cool. Yeah. Alright, so wow, we're at 30 minutes already, so I'm going to try to finish this up really quickly in 10 minutes. And we're only doing modeling, alright? So another video will come out maybe in a week or so, and then we'll talk about texturing it, and we're going to light it and such, alright? But only if this gets enough views and positive reviews and such like that. So, alright, so next we're going to start doing the actual knife, alright? So, I've actually had a few problems in this to where I don't, where I don't make it big enough. Why is it doing this to me? Stop. Okay, one second, I'm starting this over. Stupid bitch. Sorry for my language. And it's just very frustrating. So here I just made the really simple outline, alright? Only because I'm snapping back on, and of course grid, workplace snap, and these two things have to go. We're going to put those right there and just keep them all lined up. I should have done it from the start, but I just didn't think of it really. So I'm going to take these, bring both of those down to about there. Oops. Bring that to about there. Alright, and then this is going to go right about there. So, okay, so from what I'm looking at, both of these have to go up more because ballistic knives are generally a bit long. So, and depending how you're making them, obviously you can do what you want, but try to stick to the general schematic of it to make it actually make sense, you know. Oops, I actually just moved my viewport. Alright, so I'm gonna hop right back into here. Alright, so now I'm going to give it an extrude and then fix that. Alright, and I'm going to put it about on 15. So move the axis over. Alright, so here we go. We have this going once again. Connect objects, delete. I'm going to name it the actual knife. And then what we're going to do, because obviously it looks like a two-dimensional sword, which is funny. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that lovely little knife tool that we talked about. And we're going to hit, select the top and bottom faces, and we're going to go to the top viewpoint. We're going to hit K, and we're going to go there from the top vertice, and you're going to go straight across. Alright, so that just created a pretty good line right there. Should be, oops, exactly in the center. So we're going to select that, and I'm going to bring it up straight to about there. And this one we're going to bring down as well. And then these vertices, I'll take this vertice and we're going to bring it up to right there. We're going to bring that vertex right there, and we're going to bring that down as well, so that those two will eventually connect. And we're going to get rid of these two polygons right here. So those polygons are going to be gone. These two vertices right here, we're going to want to get connected. Actually, I'm going to select all these. We're going to go and optimize them. So depending how you did it, you might have to optimize within 5 centimeters. That's what I did, and then they're together now, which is very helpful. I'm gonna bring these, gonna bring these down a little bit. I'm going to bring these ones up a tad. And now it's getting a little bit more pointed. Oops. I did not actually want to bring those up and down. My bad. Right click, and you're going to want to close these two polygonal holes right here. And then we're going to take this edge, and I'm going to bring that up. And I'm going to take that edge and bring that. Oh, you see what I did? I did not notice that. Oops. Oh, that makes sense. I screwed up because when I did the polygons, I did not. I mean, when I changed the vertices. Crap. Alright. I did the vertices and I optimized it. I did not leave a vertice so that you could bring one down and you could bring the other up. So now it just kind of screwed me a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up a bit. So my bad, guys. And yeah, see what I'm going to do now. So I'll take these edges and bring that up a bit. And these two edges need to go, oops, these two, oh, we're supposed to be on vertices, my bad. These two vertices I'm going to bring down a little bit, along with these two vertices, and bring all those down so that, oops, so that we can eventually bring them all together. And then just got to get it looking like a sword. Alright, well, I don't know why I keep saying sword, like a ballistic knife. So of course, yours should be generally more precise than mine. So I'll bring this down. Yeah, alright. It's looking pretty good. I'm actually going to take snapping off because it's just kind of annoying me now. I forgot about it. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Alright. So one thing, yes, you did notice that it's actually way too big for the actual thing going on here, which I will fix, and I'll show you how to fix that really fast. So next we're just going to fix this whole polygonal hole here, by which we're going to add a line from here to there. So we're going to connect this point and that point. So, oh, wow. I'm just screwing up with my tools today, aren't I? Yep. So what you're going to use is this bridge tool right here, and that will bridge the gap between these polygons and create what you need. And then, alright, so here we go. There we go. So now I'm just going to bring this down a bit, bring that one up a bit, along with these two, because apparently there's more polygons than necessary here. So you can bring those together a little bit more, and then basically you have your general hilt, your general blade. Alright, so obviously I pointed out that yes, it is a little bit screwy, so I'm just gonna decrease scaling and then just center it a little bit more. And then just center, And there we go. So now we pretty much have our nice kind of ballistic knife. Of course, this will most likely be much better than yours. I'll probably fix it for the next tutorial, but I mean, that's the general gist of it. I mean, you could always subdivide parts of it so that you can get it a little bit more smooth and crisp, besides the edge on the top and such, because of course you gotta be able to stab people, but that's the general thing. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this tutorial. So we have our basic ballistic knife right here, and it's pretty nice and usable, and I only showed you it in 40 minutes, which is a record for me in my tutorials. So hopefully you guys did learn something, and if you do want lighting, rendering, and texturing tutorial, then give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.